Hello and welcome to another shoe review brought to you by the Altra Running Company. Today we're going to be talking about two shoes, actually two very similar shoes from our friends at Altra. Those two shoes are the Altra Solstice and the Altra Vanish-R. And we're combining these two today for our shoe review because from the first start of them, they look like very similar shoes, but we're using them for pretty different situations here at the Altra Running Company, so I thought I'd share that with folks. We're going to start out saying both of these shoes are minimally cushioned, zero drop, road running shoes. And so what you'll be getting with both of these is a shoe that basically has the same amount of cushion from the heel all the way to the toe. So it's basically like you're walking barefoot, but with a layer of cushion underneath. Now because they're minimally cushioned, so that's the zero drop part of it, because they're minimally cushioned, neither of these shoes have really a whole ton of cushion underneath. The Solstice, which we'll talk about first, has 23 millimeters of cushion, both in the heel and in the toe, and the Vanish-R has quite a bit less actually at 14, a true minimal shoe. And so we'll talk through both of these and let you know what we think. So first of all, with the Solstice, what you're getting here is a very, very nice shoe for the money. This shoe starts at $90. It's for both men and women. As with most Altras, they have gender-specific sizing, which means that in the case of the Altras, the heel is going to be a little bit narrower on the women's shoe, and the arch is actually going to be a little bit longer, and that's how they differentiate between men's and women's shoes. What you'll get here with the Solstice, at $90, it's pretty much the entry-level shoe for the Altra category, and frankly, we were a little concerned about this when we brought it in. We thought maybe this was just a play for the casual athlete, athleisure almost, Altra trying to get into as they broaden their spectrum, trying to get into a customer that they hadn't had before. We brought it in, but we brought it in with a little bit of trepidation because we didn't know how it would turn out when it got here. So what I can tell you is we were super pleased with the Solstice. It really caught us by surprise. It's got a fantastic knit upper, and what that means is the upper part, which is basically everything above the cushion, this upper is what we call seamless. So there's no place inside this shoe that's going to rub against your foot. There's no seams inside. There's just some overlays here that give it a little bit of structure right around your arch area, but nothing that's going to affect you inside. Really nice on this one. Sometimes in shoes, you'll get a little bit of a crease right here where the tongue connects to the toe box. In both of these shoes, both the Solstice and the Vanish-R, you've got a continuous tongue, so there's really no place to rub there at all, which is really nice for your toes. As with every Altra, they have what we call a foot-shaped toe box. So just to illustrate that a little bit, you're going to see that this Altra is very wide. Let me turn it around here. You're going to see that this Altra is very wide right here on the top of the shoe. This is not a wide shoe. You'll see that the heel is actually quite narrow. So it goes just like any other shoe, really hugs your heel area right through the arch and then really widens out. And the reason for that is most shoes are going to taper in right here. And that's been a shoe industry standard for years and years, but it's really not how a lot of people's feet are shaped. And so Altra's trademarked this foot-shaped toe box, and both the Solstice and the Vanish-R have that. What you're really going to see on this Vanish-R is, because of the price point on it, frankly this is not their longest wearing shoe. We don't throw out miles on it, but typically this is going to be on the lower end of the spectrum. So this isn't a shoe that you're going to expect to go out and crush 600, 700, 800 miles in without seeing really significant wear here. And that's just because this part right here is what they call a high wearing rubber. And this is the only portion of high wearing rubber on the whole shoe. Really just where some people, if you're going to heel strike, which frankly you don't want to do in an Altra, that's going to protect it a little bit here. But you'll notice there's none of that as you go up. So that's really, if you want to talk about downsides of this shoe, I just showed it to you. It's not the longest wearing shoe in their stable. But what we've been really, really excited about with the Solstice is it's an amazingly comfortable shoe. This is not an entry-level shoe from a comfort, fit, quality standpoint. We think they've really hit it out of the park as far as your bang for your buck. And so what you've got is a super lightweight shoe. They list the Solstice at 4.7 ounces for women and 6 ounces for men. Now you'll see here I'm actually holding a size 13, which is what I wear, and in a size 13 this is a 9-ounce shoe. So just to give you a little bit of realism there. Still super light, but a lot of people will talk about 10 ounces as kind of being the gold standard. What they're talking about is for a men's size 9. And obviously most men, I don't know why they choose a size 9, because most men are going to have a larger foot than that. So more realistically, you're going to be somewhere in that 8 to 9 ounces for this shoe, which is exceptionally light and very comfortable. So as far as breathability, really nice. This is a shoe you can wear out in the heat. It's a shoe you can run in for quite a while. Because of this minimal cushion, unless you've really worked out your foot, we're not suggesting that you go out and run really long distances in it. That takes building up quite a few of the muscles in your feet, and if you've done that, then you're going to have a great time in the Solstice for long runs. But for most folks that are coming into the store, we're going to see this for your shorter runs, some of your tempo workouts, and frankly, a lot of us are just wearing this around all day at the store. It's very comfortable, and I think they really hit it out of the park on this shoe. Now, one thing it's not is it's not a racing flat per se, and racing flats are something that get talked about a lot, and Altra's really never had one. Racing flats are used for your 5Ks, maybe a 10K, something along those lines, and that's really where this Vanish-R comes in. As you can see, just comparing the two, the Vanish-R has significantly less cushion down below. In fact, it's 14 millimeters, which in my book really qualifies this as a true minimalist shoe, and that's fantastic because there aren't many of those on the market anymore. You're going to see that the design on the bottom is very similar to the Solstice, but what they've done is actually beefed up some of the longer wearing tread rubber here, and so you'll probably get a little more life. The way this is designed is a little bit of heel touchdown. Again, not something you're going to want to do in an Altra. If you really do touch down on your heel a whole lot, as far as when you're landing, you're probably going to want to go with a shoe that has significantly more cushion or something with a little bit of a drop to it until you can get your stride a little more efficient. But then also with the Vanish-R, because this is a real speed shoe, they're putting a little bit more of that long wearing rubber right up where you're going to toe off, so kind of where that torque comes in there. Additionally, even though these footbeds look the same, there's actually a layer of harder, denser material underneath between between the upper and the tread itself, and that's going to give you a little bit less flex in this shoe, but a little bit more rebound. So when you go to toe off, it's going to snap back and give you just a little bit more responsiveness from the shoe. In addition, the Vanish-R is pretty significantly lighter. One thing they don't do with the Vanish-R is have a men's and women's style. This is the only shoe in the Altra category that doesn't have a men's specific and women's specific shoe. But they list this as being right at 4.5 ounces. My guess is that's for the men's 9. Again, in my size 13 foot, this is almost a 6-ounce shoe, 5.9 ounces. So basically about 30% lighter than an already light Solstice. So this is a very light shoe. We really love this shoe for that racing situation where you want to get out there, put down the fastest time you can put down, but still have that fantastic footbed where your toes can really splay out and be comfortable. Again, pretty narrow in the heel, so if you have a wide foot overall, neither of these shoes are going to jump out at you. This is kind of for your more average foot through the heel and the instep, and then widening out for the toes to that foot-shaped toe box. Again, almost exactly the same construction on the top. It's a mesh upper, and engineered mesh is what they call it, which is a fancy term for something that doesn't have the seams in it. There are a couple stitches, as you can see here, but as we've worn it, we haven't seen that those stitches are actually affecting us or really pulling it. What they're doing is just making this upper a little bit more dialed in, so when you're running at speed, there's a little more structure on the top. So this is a fantastic shoe. It's one of the lightest shoes we have in the store, and at $100, it's still a pretty darn good deal. What I'd say is, if you want to choose between these two shoes, if you want a race day shoe, go with the Vanish-R, or if you want a true minimalist shoe with a lot of road feel, where you're going to step down, kind of step on a crack and know exactly how big that crack is, step on a dime, tell me whether it's heads or tails, you're going to want to go with this Vanish-R. Despite having that section right in the right between the tread and the upper, it's still going to give you a little bit more feel, And then on an everyday basis, the Solstice going out for your runs, just a nice casual shoe, a nice running shoe, you're gonna wanna go with this. So again, two really nice options, both priced, I think, really well. And both shoes that we're wearing a whole lot here at the Ultra Running Company. It surprises me how many folks will be walking around on a daily basis using the Solstice, which isn't something we thought would happen when we initially put in our orders. So we're stoked to have both of these in stock and on the floor at all times in Myers Park. And we'll be bringing the Solstice down to South End as we kind of transition through our inventory there. So come on in, try them out, and have a great time. We can't wait to see you.